Guys, let us know if you can see anything.
I don't think so.
You can't see anything yet, Dave?
No.
12 people are watching, apparently. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Unplanned 0 to 60.
I think that might have done it. Yep.
Okay, so I want the computer to come live so that we can actually keep up with the comments. Oh, this is going to be great. We can see the comments up there. Dave,
It's working.
say hello to the 0 to 60 audience. So I think we better wait for a few people to come in and join. Hello, Gee Whiz. How are you? James Montoya, good afternoon. Cyber Spooky. He's a bad influence if you're looking at buying cars on Grays. Brett H. Hey. Guys, Aurelia's on the hoist. Charles, how are you, sir? Yakuza WFD, good to see you. All right, I think it's working. Hey, Jordan. Install Tech Car Audio, how are you, sir? I think it's working. I'm seeing some of the comments. This isn't too bad. Franken Turbo beta testing. Good luck. They make some jam, they do. Hey, David. All right, I've been messing around with this thing today, and I say messing around. So I've come out here at lunchtime, so I've been out here for about 4.5 hours. 1 a.m. in the morning for James. Damn. Hey, I wonder if I get a wide angle. No, I think that's going to be it.
You can't switch the cameras?
I don't think so.
That'd be cool if you could.
No.
To be fair, that's got the whole car in.
All right. Well, thanks for staying up, Install Tech. He's been waiting. Right, we've got to get this worked out. So, you know what? Let's drop the car down and we'll show him where we did get to. If you can release that one. I'm starting to think that we might not actually have a hole in the block because I still can't bloody see it. It's madness.
The gudgeon pin that was in the engine bay says a different story.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, when we this come back, obviously there was a heap of smoke on the track. There's a heap of oil under the car as well. And we have the gudgeon pin from one of the pistons. We know that cylinder number 3 spark plug is annihilated. So there's been some carnage in cylinder 3, but I can't find the hole in the block. And obviously the plan was to do it live today, but you get carried away and I get curious. So I've been taking a fair bit of stuff off the engine. The turbo's off. Like, I've got heaps of access down here and I still cannot see any holes in the block. While you're here, did I just see corn fed? How are the comments going?
Yo, corn fed is in there.
Steve Robinson, hello, sir. Dave Robbins. N54 MN. 2 a.m. in Minnesota. Thank you for staying up, dude. 10 a.m. in Finland.
8 a.m. in the UK.
Woo. Oh, God. Guys, thank you all for coming along for this. Hopefully we find this bloody damage. Dave, would you mind just grabbing the turbo quickly? So I was quite concerned about this Garrett turbo. It's a 3584. I think it's the RS as well. And obviously, if anything went through that, I would be rather upset because it's probably worth more than an N54. But that turbo is all good. Yeah, so nothing has actually gone through the turbine wheel, thank God. It all looks good. It's a bit dirty.
Actually, it doesn't look too bad though, considering
Too bad at all for what it was doing. Yeah. Is anybody else in the chat at the moment that is running the same turbo on N54? Curious. I don't know if... Do we want to leave it on or do we want to go bigger?
That's like a real question. Actually, no. To be fair, it was a little bit laggy anyway, and it come on pretty hard.
It was, but I'd like mine to come on that hard, and maybe that would be all right on my car. Interestingly, I didn't realize this car had a V-band turbo manifold. I thought it was a T4. Kind of interesting. Just in case anybody's following along, I'll just show you guys quickly where we are up to right now. So I've obviously taken all of this stuff off the front of the car. Something that I didn't know about, a M3, oh, sorry, terrible camera angle, M3 Rio, front bumper. That's actually really, pick it up, it's quite light compared to the metal one.
That's crazy.
So there's little things like this that Dan had done to make this a little bit lighter than it should be. which helps explain how we got some fast times back in the day. I think everything is disconnected on this side. We'll see soon. Can I just give the light for a sec?
It's such a tight fit, the right-hand drive turbo kit, especially that simply tuning manifold with the bloody steering column in there.
It's tight. We'll peer at that a bit later. All right, make some blood sacrifices and get a G45, dude. It would be nice. It would be nice. Tim Wright's in the house. Hello, Tim. All right, we're gonna go back up on the hoist and I'll show you guys from underneath because I should probably point the camera at me. From underneath, I've got a pretty good look at that side of the block now, and I'm still lost. All right, we'll go up. See, while it's going up, let's read some comments. Hey, Lester from South Africa, how you going? Lucas David, Orange County, Grant Mitchell. What's up, Rocky Robinson? No, we're not going to use an engine leveler. Although I've just noticed I didn't shut the bonnet properly.
It's pulled down a bit. I think that'll be... Do you want to go... I'll tell you when?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Can I steal the light, Dave? Right, I'll just show you everyone what we've done. So transmission is sort of disconnected, sort of. Everything apart from the yoke, which I've never actually pulled the power glide apart or out. Hopefully the yoke should just slide out. Downpipes out. We've obviously got all of this oil, which is a result of something.
Something blowing up.
But yeah, I mean, the block. Camera's not even going to focus. But I still can't see.
The hole.
No.
And I mean, especially even from the front now there's no front on the car. You can literally see that entire side of the block, which was hidden previously.
It must be, I don't know, maybe it's under the manifold. There has to be a hole. We have a gudgeon pin. It's going to be funny if that gudgeon pin is there from another incident, maybe. Let's not say that. Let's not say that. Obviously, there's a lot of oil on the outside of the block. There has to be a hole somewhere.
Something happened, and it made a hell of a racket. If you guys remember the video of when this actually going down the main straight at Lakeside.
Something I haven't actually tried. We did accidentally hit the starter the day after, and it didn't crank. But do you want to see if it is seized?
Yeah.
Which should be a 22 mil. Somewhere in here.
Might grab the brake bar.
Oh no, my phone. We may have an issue. Is everyone still there? All right. It just tried to do a pay ID. 22.
Got one.
Sweet. Oh, you're good. Someone's prepared. All right. Don't force it around. Just see if it does spin at all. Nah.
Fuck me, that is, pardon my French, that is a...
So she is seized. The motor is seized, everyone. Not going either way.
No, that is not moving. But I swear to God it was running. Well, it was. I literally had to press the kill button to stop it. When it happened, it was still running on the side of the track. It didn't stall.
No, and it was vibrating like hell, but it was still running. And somebody did comment, how do we know it wasn't somebody else's gudgeon pin? Well, we don't. It was just weird that it was laying on the power steering rack. Let's just have a quick look at the comments. Actually, could you run through them? Just let us know if there's anything exciting. I'm going to let the hoist back down. I think it's time to get the engine crane hooked on. Just so everyone knows, we have engine mounts are undone. All the wiring that I think is undone, well, that needs to be undone is undone. I don't need that spanner in there. Transmission's all undone. Transmission lines are undone. Obviously, all the front's off. We should be pretty much good to drop the engine down. Any comments?
Oh, there's a couple. There's plenty coming through. It's hard to keep track of them all. Somebody has joined from New Zealand. Seeker, Clint, watching from Napier, NZ.
John, Sydney with a tuned F80. All right, car is coming down. Steve from Melbourne with another F80. Hi from Perth. Oh, what am I crushing? Oh no, it's just the cable. We're good. We can go down a bit more. In fact, I will pull the coolant barrel out a bit. One thing I will just comment on, the downpipe work on this car is huge. I didn't realise how big it was. Brad with the manual 335 single turbo from Rolls. Hey Brad, how you going? Oh, you become a member too. Good dude.
Also has the same last name as Tim.
Hmm.
The same car.
Columbus, Ohio. Hey man, how you going? Right.
Another United Kingdom gentleman joining.
Dave, I'm going to give you the camera, or the phone. It is loose, and it does hit the power button every now and again.
So don't do that.
No. All right, let's get this sling on the engine. I just remembered.
What?
I know I'm going to forget a lot of things. I have not undone the factory fuel line. I've undone the return line for this low pressure fuel system, but I haven't undone the factory fuel line. So we'll need to go back up in the air quickly.
Nope.
Hey, I'm going to forget a few things. It's going to happen.
Ooh. Ash from the United Kingdom has said he's just picked himself up an F10 M5, which is actually pretty much my dream car.
Alright, hopefully that'll give me enough access to get to it, although it's not in the normal spot.
Need a torch?
Nah, should be right. I'm just going to do it by feel, if we can. Probably get covered in N85 now.
It's usually what happens.
Yeah, guys, feel free to shout out anything else that I might have forgotten to undo. I've basically got all the wiring out of the DME box. The only thing I'm sort of worried about with this car, because it's had a few different turbo setups on it. It was, I think Dan might have originally put this together in like 2015 or 16. So it's had a few different aftermarket setups on it. Not just with turbos, but like it's had JB4, it's had all sorts of different ignition setups, coils, what have you. So I'm sure there's going to be some extra wires that I'm not familiar with that I haven't disconnected, but we'll see. We'll see. I did find a watt box in there. I think it's a watt box.
Oh, well, that would have been for the trans brake, yeah.
Oh, I cannot undo this fuel hose. All right.
Does that make it any easier to see? If you got some light in there?
It's got the original fuel line onto an aftermarket AN fitting. And I just can't get enough actuation on the quick release to undo it. So we'll try and undo the AN line.
Jacob just asked if it is seized, and yeah, maybe not seized as in welded itself together, but something is jammed inside the rotating assembly to stop it from turning over.
Yeah, you could turn over, could you?
No. And not doubting that there is a hole in the block because there's oil. Oil has come down from somewhere, but not as much oil as you would think from having a piston delete. Yes. Saving weight, man. Johnny asking about the E39. Yes, 100% you are. In fact, I have been doing bits and pieces on that off camera.
You got some cool stuff for that that's just arrived.
Yes, actually. If we get time at the end of this video, if this thing doesn't take too long to come out, I will actually grab some bits and pieces, a parcel that's come from America.
America. You can tell them what it is. You can make them wait.
They can wait.
Oh, these lines are a bitch, especially on aftermarket fittings.
That's all right. So, it's still pretty tight, but it looks like there's a...
What are you thinking, Dave?
I was just looking. The only way, I mean, I always forget stuff when I used to rip engines out. I literally had to just check around the engine, see if there was anything that goes from the engine to the firewall or...
If there was anything still connected, a reciprocal saw would soon fix it out.
that was, yeah. If you guys didn't know, we used to, many moons ago, we used to wreck cars, and that was probably the go-to tool quite often. It was literally just a reciprocating saw, and it helped engine removals quite a lot.
Hey. I think I got it. All right, you ready for the E85 splash? Ugh. All right, that's the fuel line. I think that's going to be everything. I think that's going to be everything disconnected. There's always one or two things you forget. That was one or two things that I've forgotten. I think we're good. Let's get the sling on it. Are you alright to release that side of the harness?
Yarp.
Ooh. Also managed to get a ton of E85 down my arm now, so that's good. That's good. Alright, this one. Power's coming down. So I didn't actually catch it properly, but somebody did ask how we were going to do it.
Remove the engine.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm not using a balance bar, I'm just going to leave the manifold on. And go from there. Is there a crack in the valve cover? I don't think there is a crack in the valve cover. He says had an oil delete. Neil Fraser is pointing out the most useful comment at the moment.
What's he said?
He said he loves how helpful everyone is in the comments.
That's the internet for you. It's brilliant.
All right.
Although often, it actually is.
Okay. So I have this janky sling that I'm just going to hook around the
The fuel rail.
just off this nice aluminium Chinese fuel rail.
Yakuza just said he watched the Hot Fuzz last night. I'm wondering if is that something to do with Andrew's beard or something?
Oh. Hey, as long as it's... Actually, I don't want anyone else's phone. Oh my god, I've lost it. Alright, that's through there. Who wants to put money on whether a power glide's heavier than a ZF6?
I would say it's less weight than a ZF6.
I reckon it's definitely less than a ZF6.
There's a lot less gears in there, that's for sure.
Obviously, I've used this to pull quite a few ZF6s and the DCT, and even yanked on the plastic manifolds with no actual problems.
There's not much you haven't yanked on, really, is there?
Nope, done a lot of yanking.
Sorry, Neil just said, oh, of course, Yakuza. Neil just said that he's actually just put this on his TV, so...
Oh my god. Alright. Oh, we got jack this up. What else come off it that was cool? It has got genuine PWR oil coolers for the transmission.
There's one hanging down, one oil cooler down there. There's actually... Oh, you mentioned the size of the dump pipe, didn't you?
Yeah, just don't touch that, it's squishy as hell.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen, obviously I haven't seen a left-hand drive, an American single turbo kit, but that, especially for a right-hand drive, when there's the frickin' steering column, the steering shaft in there, that is a good effort to get that size dump pipe onto a right-hand drive car.
Thing I've forgotten. And thanks for not pointing it out, everyone. The power steering pump is still connected.
Ah,
It'll be quick, we'll get that off. Please, you don't need to film me. See, this is where we normally cut to time lapse, and nobody realizes how long everything takes.
oh.
So, better just get that power steering pump off. I did plan to...
Some more goodies from O'Reilly, full alloy radiator.
Yeah, it's got upgraded radiator.
The the big 7-inch front mount. Turbo Smart BOV.
One thing we will show you guys, the charge pipe, a little bit's come out, but it
Ooh.
was really full of oil.
Yeah, right.
So there was a ton of oil in the charge pipe.
Pooling up in there.
But I guess if the piston wasn't there, a hell of a lot of oil would have got blown
Straight
up
through.
into the cylinder head, yeah.
And it wasn't making clouds when it made the clunk, but it did let out a pretty big puff of smoke.
Yes. Well, there was a hell of a lot of smoke actually.
And blow by, yes, this car had a little bit of blow by too.
Trying to release the drive valve quickly.
They're good.
Never going to get used again.
No, you'd be nuts too.
Oh, it's all sticky. It's gone hard. Okay, just get the power steering pump off. We should take bets on other things that I've probably forgotten already as well.
This is why we stick with China 17Ts. Yeah, a lot of people are running the 17Ts and the 19Ts now.
Gonna go up a bit. Gonna go up a bit.
Hey, somebody's joined from Portugal. It's 7 a.m. there. And they're on the 0 to 60 live stream. Thank you for tuning in. That is unreal. I guess there's probably not much else on for entertainment at 7 a.m. in the morning, is there? Other than breakfast TV show, which if it's anything like Sunrise.
Portugal.
Far out. Somebody from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Neil, yeah, I used to beatbox way back in the day. Far out. Canada as well.
Thank you everyone for joining in on this. How many people watching?
Chicago, there is, I think, 118.
Damn. All right.
The west coast of America, hello. It's actually quite a few people. Even 0 to 60 members join us from the west coast of America. Quite a few from sort of the top end. N54 the world, hell yeah. Michael Crawford from NZ, Finland, Brisbane, hey, long way away. New South.
Oh, whoever's from New South, what's lockdown like at the moment?
Yeah, whereabouts are you in New South Wales? Are you sort of near Sydney, or are you a little bit more rural? From what I understand, the rural guys have got it a little bit easier than the Sydney people.
Alright. One bolt does not want to come undone.
Oh, Neil's from Sydney Shell Harbour.
You're really close to that.
Yep. Singapore. And no, that's if you've only just joined Peter2JZ, that was what we had the torch before, and despite the entire front of the car being off and the turbo, the dump pipe, you know, pretty much everything other than the manifold off as well, we still cannot see. You're doing parkour, bro.
Oh my god. There's always one bolt that doesn't want to come off.
Fuck, yeah. Neil is stuck in a 5 kilometre radius of his home.
That sucks.
It sucks, man. We where we are, we haven't been hit too bad with the lockdowns, but still, when it gets you, it makes a difference. You got to be prepared for them. Oh my god, Juan Morales. I think that is how to pronounce your name. I don't know why more people don't measure their car horsepower in kangaroo power.
Oh, it's finally. That was the power steering pump, not my balls. That was the hardest bolt I've undone all day. All right.
Just had a fair bit of flex then in the engine. Have you undone the mounts already?
Yep, mounts are undone.
Cool.
Transmission's all undone. The plan was to be all smooth and cool and just pop it out on the live stream. Of course, I was going to forget stuff.
How far in? Oh, I can't see. Oh, far out, man. It's 20 minutes in already. Admittedly, initially we were sort of trying to work out.
The live stream was working.
Yeah.
Right, let's pull this. Okay. Right. So, I'm going to go right down on the floor with the car.
Okay.
Is there anything under that tyre?
Now, just make sure this oil cooler doesn't get trapped. Cool. Yep, you're safe, I think.
No, lift may be locked.
Ah. Oh, and there is an exhaust, part of the exhaust just under that rear left wheel as well. I don't know how far down you want to go.
I'm going to go to the ground.
All right. Heaps of room.
Moto Digital Video, how are ya?
That is Scott, who has just finished installing his port injection, I believe, with his 19Ts. So, what are you thinking? Do you reckon you're going to make it to Rolls next weekend, Andrew?
I'm booked.
Are you booked?
I'm going to Rolls.
So-
I didn't tell you, did I there? Sorry.
No. So, hopefully line up against Scott in his now pretty similarly spec'd car to yours. Just
He's now got meth though.
meth, true. Oh, Neil, more bike content. Okay. You twisted my arm. You twisted. If I have to ride more motorbikes, I will. Beer in hand, watching you guys getting dirty. Yes.
What sort of beer though?
Yeah. What's your poison, Dave? Coco, not the webcam I'm usually used to. He usually just watch, I think, like nature channels, like
Oh, like live
Nat,
nature cam.
yeah, Nat Geo, that sort of
Weather
stuff.
cameras or something.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. All right.
No, that window installation, it was actually pretty cheap at the time.
On the block.
Yeah.
All right. One day we'll have the right tools to do a job instead of just making things work.
Want to ride my Panigale? Is that a real question? I would actually, a Ducati is 100% a dream bike for sure. They are beautiful. Oh, Lucas, any rotary action coming back? Yes, we have been. In fact, we've been discussing the RX-8s quite a lot amongst us. Maybe we'll just pull this engine out. No, there is plenty to do, but 100% we've got to get the rotaries are coming back, particularly the RX-8 that actually works. I'm still not sure what to do with the RX-8 that doesn't work.
So, even though the mounts are undone, that did not move at all.
Yeah, okay.
So I think what's done is just grab it's grabbing on the mounts. I've only undone the
engine mounts?
Yeah, I've only undone the top of the mounts. I didn't undo the bottom.
Ah, so it has to slide through the...
Yeah, basically I didn't want the driver's side engine mount to get caught, so I'll undo the bottom of the mounts and they should just fall out. But we're going to go up. Again, first time I've taken this one apart. And it has different engine mounts. Should be enough. However...
Is the transmission, is that...
It's disconnected.
Okay.
Well, it's still on the yoke, but what we need to do, we need to get the engine up a little bit and then pull it forwards.
Yep.
Well, basically, we need to get the right-hand side over the power steering rack.
And the transmission mounts are undone.
Yes.
Cool.
You may get it. Didn't sound good.
Sounded a little bit spinny.
Just in case.
Danger to man unfold.
Ah, yeah, right. That will mean that bracket needs to come off.
What was that? Yeah, right?
So the support bracket under the subframe, that will need to come off to access the other mounts.
Ah.
Going to grab us a 16 mil.
Do you need a deep socket or just normal?
A 16 mil impact deep. Please.
There you go.
Thank you. So, should we start talking about what we're going to do with this thing? Because I'm still not solid. Can everyone here? Would you want to explain? We kind of want to go aftermarket ECU before we put a built motor in.
Yeah, and the reason behind putting a stock motor back in it with a full standalone ECU is so that we can, like, everything will be changed. It'll be a different fuel system, obviously a full different computer system, different boost control. It'll be a very, very different setup. So we want to get it sorted on a stock motor, which is not too expensive if something goes wrong. And then once that's sorted and dialed in, then actually open the motor up. And
Put some decent power in it.
yeah.
But a couple of people didn't quite see the benefit of an aftermarket ECU. I feel like they've probably never tuned a car.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people also did. In fact, yeah, one has just said Max, which must be referring to Max ECU, which a lot of people have. Oh, Motec or Haltech. Yep.
Motec
would
never happened.
yeah, we need to take out a mortgage to put a Motec on, I think. Actually, even Haltech. By the time you buy all the sensors and everything with Haltech, you're going to be
That is the sucky thing about a Haltech. They're not cheap, but you get really good support. So is it worth cheaping out with a Max and doing all the hard graft?
Max.
Or go a Haltech and actually have someone to call if you have any questions?
Yeah, that is a massive benefit. Apparently, the support for Haltech is immense, especially being in Australia as well.
Alright. That's the lower subframe, engine mount bolts release. Hopefully it'll just lift up now. Which is what I thought it was going to do before. These are I think I saw the logo, these are the Turner Motorsport engine mounts. I'm guessing the thread on top might be longer than a standard one.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to crush that cooler.
Cooler. Nah, she's falling out the way. Perfect.
Perfectamundo. Right, see if it lifts up.
I actually forgot how good I really looks because
She's come up.
yeah, that looks a bit better.
So. Just need to go up a little bit more.
Where's that torch gone?
Yeah, far out. So we're up a good inch or two, and the Turner Motorsport mounts are still.
Still hooked on?
Yeah.
Ah.
I was hoping I didn't have to remove the steering rack, but. Yeah, just so everyone can see, we've got to get that engine mount piece around the steering rack. Or do I unbolt that from the engine? On a normal motor, you just...
Yeah. It can't come over to the passenger side anymore, can it? AC compressor's already pretty tight.
The back might. Let's see if I can give it a wiggle.
Although the back of the gearbox is still connected to the...
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It sort of needs to come forwards before it can twist. Yeah, that's pretty rock hard, eh?
Yeah, alright. Unfortunately, the Power Glide is wider than a ZF6. From what I can see, anyway. And what that means is there's not enough movement left or right with that. The engine needs to come straight up and go around the steering column.
It just would have been nice to not have to remove
the steering rack.
Hmm.
Maybe I just pop the rack off. It's not 2 volts, but
Or
it's just really hard to get to. Right?
Is there... Where's my torch? Go on, I've lost the torch. Can you get to the bolt that bracket onto the engine?
You can when it's right up in the air. Some of them. Maybe we'll try that.
So, do you want to go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
However, the engine is now not... Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
The engine's now not bolted in, neither is the transmission. So... let's just make sure it won't wiggle out.
Oh, you're a little bit moving. That's...
That'll be wedging it further.
Wow. Just noticed the heat-proof tape there. It's gotten pretty hot.
Hey. Okay. All right.
That's some decent movement.
That just fell off the mount, I think. Fell off the engine mount on this side. How are the comments going? You keep an eye on them.
They come through in waves, unfortunately. So I catch every now and then. Actually, I have an idea.
Try and keep an eye on the lappy. Oh, do you want to set this?
Oh, onto the, yep.
I was thinking about it. So you can comment while people watch.
If we can get it in. Boom. extend this a bit more.
It may go.
That's looking pretty wobbly.
It's just right on the power steering rack. I mean, luckily we have 3 spare power steering racks, so.
So rip it out. Excuse me?
I don't know what the pop was.
It's-
Alright, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? I'm just gonna go under. Oh, I can't really go under. What comments are happening?
Should drop the subframe. We kind of wanted to avoid doing that so we can keep the car mobile and get it out of here after the engine's out. But yeah, that would be nice and easy. Get the trolley jack and lift the back of the trans.
That's not a terrible idea.
Although the hoist is incredibly low now.
I still think it's catching on the engine mounts. Ah, you bastards! It's still stuck on this side engine mount.
Russell Nevin said, try yelling at it, Andrew.
Hey Russ, good to see you, buddy.
Simon John said, take 5, cup of tea, and some hobnobs. I would love a hobnob right now.
That's a chocolate biscuit, Dave. Huh. That is lovely. I knew this car was going to be a bitch compared to a stock one.
Alright. Couple of people saying to try and get the trolley jack under it. It's just the freaking hoist arms going everywhere now.
I kind of want the back bit down.
Try and tilt it up.
Yeah. If I can get this engine mount out, we can then move the engine down and over and then get it around the steering column. But the engine mount is in the bloody way. You just can't quite go up high enough to do it.
Moto Digital Video. Parts from O'Reilly going onto the Vargas car.
Yes.
Yes, that is the plan. I don't know if you heard before when we were quickly talking about the standalone ECU. So yeah, part of that will be upgrading O'Reilly's complete fuel system. So yeah, we'll be able to make use of this fuel system, which we know is up to the job of making some serious sauce, and put that onto the Vargas car, so that it can then make some serious sauce. And yeah, we'll be going a slightly different direction with O'Reilly in the future.
My gosh.
M and Co Vlogs says it's his favourite car.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks for looking after it for us. That was just a torch.
Big Bob in Texas can actually just lift it out by hand. That would be
very helpful.
yeah, it would be very helpful right now.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to get a Turner Motorsport engine mount out on a right-hand drive without dropping the subframe, that'd be good.
In Seattle, apparently, the trick is to light a big fat blunt and then chill. And then in the morning, the engine's out.
Alright.
Why is it called O'Reilly? So, if you aren't familiar with the story of
Oh, really?
why it's called O'Reilly, is because Dan, the gentleman that built it, back in the day, these cars, particularly in Australia, people weren't really playing with them to the level that he was, or what's doable now. So this car surprised a lot of people. I mean, it still surprises a lot of people, but you go back even 5 years ago, people didn't think that BMWs could be this fast. So he was rocking up to events and rocking up to races or even just highway races, and it was just blowing the doors off of things with, screaming, making a ton of noise. And so he popped the bonnet, he's got a big fat single turbo there, and people go, "Oh, really?" And it sort of became known as "Oh, really?" because it just surprised everyone.
Oh, and he got some cheap number plates.
Yeah.
That happened to say that early as well. So I'm gonna undo the steering rack. I think that's the easiest option.
Okay.
However, I put my E12 down somewhere, and God knows where I put it.
Loner, I saw you just asked what fuel system we want to go with on O'Reilly, and is it right to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point of going, well, not the whole point, but part of the point of going to a full standalone ECU is we're now toying with the idea of getting rid of the direct injection system.
Which is rubbish!
It's not rubbish for,
Efficiency.
yeah, and whatever, but for what this car's going to be doing, making as much power as possible, you don't need that extra efficiency from the DI, you don't need the headaches that it brings. So we'll basically just piss them off and go some very, very, very big port injectors.
Yes. Can you show them the engine mounts? These are what's giving me trouble right now. It's
Size of them.
hang on. The stud's threading.
Interesting.
If I'm gonna move the rack anyway now. I'm committed to moving the rack.
I haven't seen a Turner engine mount before. That's actually a really nice bit of kit.
I'm sure they're really cheap.
Yeah. 0 to 60 member, one fast car asked about the workshop light.
Which one?
I think you mean this one. Is this one you mean, fast car? It is just a Ryobi workshop light. Honestly, crap. Yeah, because see how it's supposed to do this thing? You're supposed to be able to like sit it on places and tilt that, but honestly that hasn't worked since the day we had it, and this is actually the second one we had, and they were both exactly the same. I'm sure, yeah, maybe, don't want to say anything bad about Ryobi because I mean it's still a light, it still works.
Hey, their warranty's really good.
They do actually. Yeah, they are ridiculous with their warranty, so that's good. But if you want a good workshop light, actually what I want, especially if you're working under the car, it would be super helpful if you had something with a magnet in it. So you can actually stick the light to...
They exist, you know.
Yeah, that's sort of what we need to invest in, I reckon. But yeah, don't rush out and buy one of those. Oh, a B58 conversion?
No.
Not in this car, but...
I love B58s,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. But not in an N54 chassis.
Oh god, no. And they're still way too expensive here as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you compare them to the N54.
Alright. We've got a mount out. Going to drop it on the floor. Right. I still don't know if we've got enough clearance or if things are still connected, but we'll see. So,
Corn-fed boost.
does he want to join Team N54? Has he had enough of the Ecotech?
Probably. Now, talking about the injectors, so you don't have to leave the injectors in there. You can get like block-off plates and just solid pieces of material that are shaped like the injector to block them off.
These guys have probably just seen it, but the engine has now come forward and the transmission is disconnected.
Really?
I can tell because it just fell down a heap. This is probably going to be the shitty thing about not having a balance bar,
Oh wow.
but let's see where we go.
The back of it is flopping around like crazy.
Are we disconnected?
I think so. It's moving a lot.
Yep. It feels like it's disconnected.
Ton of fuel coming out, but what do we got? Got a plug here. Got a plug over this side.
Do you want to grab the camera? Oh, yeah, grab the camera so they can see. So this is 2 aftermarket plugs. I have no idea what they're for. Maybe they are for quick engine removals. Oh no.
What?
course, all the transmission fluid runs out the back of the transmission on these.
That's right. At least it smells nice.
I think it's just got red line in it. It doesn't smell as bad as the ZF fluid.
Oh, as I've come to grab the phone, Michael Shannon said he's got a balance around the corner.
Well, thanks, Michael. You could have said it an hour ago.
It's fine. We'll manage.
Okay, so we have one other aftermarket power wire, which goes. I have no idea what it is. But
There's not much, so. Yeah, I don't even know where that goes.
it's this one. Into here. Which goes into here. Okay. I'm gonna, it's some sort of starter. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it.
Okay. Does it go into a harness or?
It does go into a harness, but. So there we go.
Hector's going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines, and on top of that, he just came into Harry's and he ordered 3 T66 turbos. I didn't even see who wrote that, but that's
It sounds familiar.
it's wise words. Okay, hang on. Just the sump of the Power Glide.
Okay, make sure if it does fall, as long as it can't fall and land on you.
Oh, there might be another. Oh no, we're good. Sorry, it looked like it was connected, but it's just hidden.
Okay, AC line disconnected. We've got heaps of earth wires over here, which are aftermarket, which we can make sure they're not getting tangled.
What was that?
That is just AC fluid. Make sure you keep your AC fluid topped up. It's got a ton of oil in it. AC oil.
Can it go up anymore? Yep. Oh god. It is working as long as that doesn't slide through the.
Right, what I might do.
It's so heavy.
Who would have thought an engine's heavy? I'm gonna lower it down there so that the trans stops dripping out.
Okay. Oh, there is a drip tray at the back.
Yes, I did. I was thinking ahead.
It's literally dripping into the drip tray. It's pretty much a factory setup. But yeah.
But for the sake of the live stream, what we want to do.
Oh, another cable.
What is that for?
So many extra bits.
Okay, that goes to a vacuum sensor. Okay. I have no idea what that's for. It's had a couple of different aftermarket boost gauges on it over the years. Not boost. Well, it's had
Lots
a few
of
different sensors
lots of
and
different gauges. Yeah.
All right, that wasn't too bad. Was that it?
Looks like it.
Okay, that power wire I forgot to disconnect. That is the vacuum line, which I thought I did disconnect, and it's managed to get stuck in a different hole.
Oh.
What the hell? It's not a vacuum hole.
There we go.
Guys, it's what you come here for.
Okay.
See a hole in the wall?
We're going down. Still no hole.
What the hell?
I don't. Is it? Must be up behind the manifold, is it?
Yeah. Holy crap! It's so hard to see. Can you see it down in there?
Holy crap! Oh, I can see it clear as day now.
Can they see it?
Yep.
How the
There she is.
Fuck! Did a gudgeon pin come out? It's like the pin is the only thing that come out of the hole. It's like finger size.
Can you guys see the? Can you spot what's wrong?
Can they see it? Basically, that's JB weldable. We could just JB weld that. That's a small hole.
Maybe JB Weld and Q-Bond together.
There's hair around the hole. Is that a problem? Live stream, install the shore, pull block. Yeah, it does suck. It does suck. However, guys,
That's man.
this is a stock motor that basically become a test platform for Dan at Simply Tuning. It was never meant to make the power it did. He never expected it to last doing what it was doing.
And it also ran a few 9-second quarters.
It did, but never properly. He always had ignition problems. He never got to run it with these R35 ignition coils. And because he was pumping 35 PSI-ish into it and running 18 degrees of timing, a strong ignition system was what was holding it back from a low 9. But yeah, and people do the full story with this. It had a stock engine in it when he originally built it. The car ended up ingesting some water in a storm somehow, and that stock engine got replaced with a built motor. The built motor was great, although Dan he doesn't waste money, and because the motor costs so much money, he didn't want to thrash it, so he ended up not beating on it too much when it had the good engine in it. And he said it wasn't in it very long because he just couldn't give it to he liked getting in and being able to thrash it, but if the engine's worth 20 grand.
He didn't want to pop an engine for being a silly, driving like a knobhead, really.
Yeah, so he ended up selling that motor, which was a proper built engine, and then just popped this one in. I think this motor went in 2018. He ran it at 18 degrees of timing, 35 PSI.
And let the trans brake skids rip.
Yeah, and I mean, there's hundreds of videos of this car doing trans brake skids. This motor has just done so well. It was revving to 8,000 RPM. We didn't have any issues when it did finally decide it didn't want to be a motor anymore. Like, we had a lot of fun in it. There's a lot of things we did in it that we couldn't film and didn't film. But we got our money's worth, even though we only had it running for a few months. And I'm looking forward to get it running again.
Yeah. Nico's just asked, so it was cylinder 3, which that's probably...
Well, it was cylinder 3 spark plug, but that is...
That's 2. Is that 2?
Mind you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 2, I think. That's a bit...
It's weird that it's like ejected out.
It looks like it's on an angle too, doesn't it?
It's going to be interesting to see what it actually looks like inside with the head off.
How much is, or what's left of the piston?
Yeah, I wonder if... Like, where's the gudgeon pin gone?
8,000 RPM, 35 PSI on a stock motor sounds about right. For a crazy person, yeah, you are right. If, like, even with Andrew's N54, no way would I have said, dude, just send it at just 35 PSI, 8,000 RPM, and just let it rip. Because that just sounds obscene for a stock motor, but this thing just took it.
We should say, don't just go and run 35 PSI and 18 degrees of timing and 8,000 RPM in your N54. Dan did a lot of work with the way that this thing was tuned to make it semi-safe. And everything that I've learned about N54 tuning, he does it differently to everyone, and it works. It's why he was the first dude to run a 9-second pass, but he does make serious power. It's not, it's expensive. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, these setups, I think you charge about 20 grand for. But it's
yeah,
worth it.
100%.
Like,
And
the way it makes you feel when you come on song with that. Oh.
this car is ridiculous, and not even for us. We know a lot of other people that have driven this car in the past as well, and even though it's only 700 horsepower at the rears, through a glide on a chassis dyno, that is. But, people that drive and even skid much more powerful cars, even they say it's just a an absolute weapon.
Yeah, well, this makes my China Turbo car feel like a toy. Like, it makes my car feel like a toy.
Which doesn't sound possible. You're 625 rear wheel horsepower.
And 5.7 second 1 to 2, and this makes my car feel like a toy, and it's a stock engine.
Yeah, it's mental.
All right.
Couple
So we found the hole. Story of my life. Took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Michael Shannon and Moto Digital said, pull the sump off.
Unfortunately, that's a big ass job. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera. How long have we been going for?
50 minutes. What the hell?
Damn.
What? And somebody else just asked if we're going to pull the head off. Yes, 100%. Not today, but yes, the head's got to come off. We want to see what's going on inside as well.
So now that we've actually come around so that I can sort of talk and go, I want to sort of try and catch up on the comments. So, did anyone talk about standalone ECUs? I was underneath what I was spoken about. So
I saw Max kept popping up.
I'm personally tied up between Haltech and Max ECU. Guys, if anyone, I was talking to a dude today who's actually got a Max running on an N54. But my concern is not getting any support, or if we've got any questions or need any help. And Haltech just do that so well. So Cornfed suggested ECU Master, Cyber Spooky, Wolf 3D. I feel like a Wolf 3D is like an Arduino. Mind you, I haven't looked at it in years. People want to see the sump off. From what I heard, Haltech doesn't support beamers. Now, I know they're getting close. I reckon we can make a Haltech work with the help of Dan. I reckon we can make it work. It'll cost a lot of money and take a long time, but I think we can make it work. Link may do a plug-in. Defo Haltech, you're in Oz. Don't Cybex do have an N54, and Cybex ECU even supports direct injection, but it's bloody expensive. It's dearer than a Haltech. Have heard others running Max. How much of a deal is it to take an N54 engine out? On a stock car, that takes me about 2 hours. It's taking me about 4.5 hours It's taken me about 5.5 hours today, but a lot of that time I was carefully taking the turbo kit apart as well. Haltech is the go. ECU Master is in Ethel. Corn, what do you reckon it would cost for a full Haltech setup for your car? Just off the top of your head. Too much. AEM. Can we see the hole again?
Now?
Oh, he means on the car.
Oh, not on the...
Girlfriend. Do you want to show him the hole? I'll keep reading the comments. My mate had Cybec. What did your mate think of Cybex?
Get some light.
Yeah, if anybody knows anyone at Haltech that would like to help us do this, that would be great.
Oh, I don't know.
Shannon made a good suggestion.
Yeah, hopefully they heard that. But, sorry guys, there is the hole, so you can see that's not supposed to be there. I'm still... Man, that would have been funny to see the gudgeon pin get ejected out of there and then land on the chassis rail where it was hiding.
Greg Wayne just made a good comment, and he's picked up on the issue with the aftermarket ECU.
Yeah.
It's running the rest of the car. There's a few fast N54s out there that have aftermarket ECUs, but they're no longer an E90 or an E80 in my opinion, because they don't have a start button, the central locking doesn't work, none of the actual original car features work. This is, I mean, it goes like a race car. It's a very, very fast car, but we want to keep it completely day-livable. So we can give the key to someone, the standard BMW key. I want the comfort access to still work. I want the electric windows to work. I don't want any error messages on the dash. I want people to be able to jump in it and drive it like it's a standard BMW with a lot of power. I don't want to have dodgy things, aftermarket switches. I even want to keep the original dash cluster. But I'm pretty sure, well, I know you can do it with the Max ECU, and I think they're getting close with the Haltex. But you are right, Greg, that is the issue. If you didn't want to keep any of the standard BMW body features working, you can literally run it on anything. Just get rid of the direct injection and any aftermarket ECU that supports 6 cylinders with dual Vanos.
And yeah, so that is the thing that a lot of people forget about. A lot of other cars, or people that are putting aftermarket ECUs on other cars, they don't have to worry about the dual Vanos thing. And that's also been something that's been cool about O'Reilly. It's been doing 9-second passes, but I mean, it still has full interior, full leather. It had a baby seat in it for most of the time that Dan was driving it and doing 9-second passes. And even, it's still got iDrive, the Bluetooth works, everything.
Comfort access still works.
Somebody just said, it was, talking about Al at Skid Factory, which, yes, they do a lot of Haltech stuff, obviously, but I have a feeling that they will be more than we can afford, pal. That's the Skid Factory, I mean.
Yeah. Cyber Spooky just said, Haltech does VVTi. You can run these engines on Haltech. Dan from Simply Tuning has set up 3 N54s on Haltex, just not in an E90 road car or a 135. They've been in either race cars or his E46. He reckons the N54 comes to life when it's on an aftermarket ECU on port injection only. He has actually organised to do a video on his E46 M3 that has the N54. We just haven't been able to tee it up yet, but he reckons it's wild. Like he said, the mid-range torque is insane.
If you guys want to see us do a proper video on that E46 M3 running a single turbo N54,
go and comment on Simply Tuning's Facebook. He needs some encouragement to make some time for us.
Yeah, let us know.
What do we got? Morning from England, from Joy Osborne. If you call AirTech in the UK, ask for Simon Holmes.
And still use the direct injection. So that's what it was. I mean, obviously it wasn't on a standalone ECU, but this car did have the DI this entire time. But for where it's going, it's just not necessary.
Now, I personally don't see any benefit from direct injection. Yes, it's very efficient. It's good for not using a lot of fuel.
Yeah, for starting and stopping. But if you're even what you just said then about the efficiency, at 700 horsepower, it still uses the same fuel as a freaking carburetor, pretty much.
Absolutely, it's just mid-throttle, mid-range power.
Yeah,
If you're trying to go fast, you're up over 5,000 RPM anyway, and the way that port injection works is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
The new T50 for Gordon Murray, it's a £2.5 million hypercar.
Good point. Very good
Port
point.
injection. They're not wasting time with direct injection. It's going to be the most powerful naturally aspirated engine ever made, and they're not bothering with direct injection.
Yeah, so that sort of puts the DI argument to rest a little bit. They have not cut any corners on the T50.
I'm going to say it. Direct injection is marketing wank for manufacturers.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say...
Said it. I don't think any of us aftermarket guys benefit from it. ECU tech. Yeah, a few people have said direct injection allows for better ignition timing. It allows for more precise fuel timing. The injectors, I think, are more responsive than the spark plugs from memory, like something weird like that. But again, at over 5,000 RPM, it makes no difference.
Yeah, and that is the direction we want to go with this thing. It's going to be just a fast car. It's, yeah, not going to need to be picking up kids from school and stuff in it.
Yeah, and also I want all the safeties that you get with an aftermarket ECU. So if oil pressure's low, turn the car off. If fuel pressure's low, turn the car off.
If it leans out a little bit too much,
turn the car off.
If the oil temp gets too hot, it can just cut everything. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to running a full standalone.
Somebody's asked, when we say built engine, what does that include? So, Furo really.
New gaskets.
Yeah,
That's it.
We'll rattle can the outside of the block and put it back in. No, basically with this, so there's two main reasons to build an N54. The first one, which is why most people do it, is to make it more reliable. A lot of the built engines out there don't actually have any more power potential than a stock engine. And you might have seen that if you looked up dynos. There's dynos of stock N54s in America rolling 1,000 wheel horsepower on stock, completely stock engines, like this thing was. And if you put this on a dyno jet with a manual transmission, it would be up close to 1,000 horsepower, how it was. Now, it would have lasted longer if it had a built bottom end. So better rods, better pistons, not used 100,000 kilometer rod bearings.
Somebody just said cams, but on these things,
look, I don't know enough about the cams. I haven't seen any evidence of aftermarket cams being beneficial. However, I haven't seen anyone that's gone to town with proper head work, head porting, changing the valves, valve springs. What we would like to do with this, and it's coming from what Dan said, and it would have to be done in conjunction with Dan from Simply Tuning. Basically get some head work done. He's got a few things that he knows will work on these heads that he would like to do to this. So not only will it be a stronger engine and a more reliable engine, it will rev higher and make more power up the top. Something that is a little bit of an inconvenience with the Power Glide, because it's only got 2 speeds, it's basically like having 3rd and 4th gear in a manual, sort of. Pretty much.
Or 3rd and 5th, maybe?
Maybe 3rd and 5th on the 6 speeds, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, which that's a lot of Beamer guys sort of struggle to get their head around that. It's literally 1st gear in this car is like 3rd gear on your ZF6.
Yeah, this car, we can do 150 kilometers an hour in 1st gear-ish. And 2nd gear tops out around 230 to 240 from memory. Now, with the gear ratios, that are in it, it would be nice if it was at the track if we had another 1,000 RPM just to wind it out, because it will be hitting its rev limiter going down the quarter at the moment. So that's another reason we'd like to be able to rev the engine a bit more. It will improve its quarter mile time. It's the other thing that plays on it a little bit for us, which is why we haven't just poured a load of money into it. When we take this to the track, we get 1 run. If it runs at 9.
That is because anything under a 10-second pass, you're kicked out unless you have a full certed car, which
is really annoying. In fact, they won't even give you a time slip if you're under 10.5 anymore. So that does suck. And because of Australia's ridiculous road rules, to make this legal to drag race, it will not be legal
on the road.
So it's one or the other. Or you make it legal to drag race and just hope you never get pulled over.
Which, yeah, some people do. But for this thing, we actually want to keep it a nice car to drive still. So yeah, we're going to keep the full leather interior and yeah, keep it an E90 335.
Yeah, there's a few people think that N54 heads are at their limit. Again, Dan built this car in 2016. He's made one of the best N54s in the world and he thinks there is room to improve. So we'll see. I have a lot of faith in Dan.
Burke, you just said we should see Denmark or Germany. Are you saying that Denmark and Germany is worse than Australia or much more lax in their road rules?
N53 head, they do have the bigger valves. Yes, keeping the AC.
100%. You can't
live in Queensland without air conditioning.
Yeah. It actually, if you park a black car in the sun in the middle of summer, the interior actually turns to melting point.
Matthew will port ahead for us. I don't know who Matthew is. Thank you very much for the offer.
I like him.
Someone else talking about the rules. All right, so guys, keep commenting because we'll be able to keep reading this as it goes through. What we want to do initially, we've got 2 spare stock N54s. They're both high mileage, but they both work. They both got compression. They're both good to go. We could just put this back together with another standard engine and go again. However, whilst it's in this state, I'd really like to take the opportunity to change the wiring up a little bit and go standalone. So what I'd like to do this year, if we can get the money together and get a plan organised, is go to a standalone ECU with a stock engine still. I would build it, but we just don't have the money at the moment. And even scraping the money together for the ECU, I reckon we should be able to do it by the end of the year, hopefully. But yeah, basically what we'd like to do is get a standalone ECU. I think the time for N54s with standalone ECUs is now. I think it's going to be something that's going to be a lot more popular. As soon as this CAN bus integration is properly worked out, which I think Max has done it. I'm pretty confident Max ECU works. The amount of control you get with the aftermarket ECU is, you just wouldn't waste your time with a standard one once you've got an aftermarket ECU. And the other thing, the people I know that are running N54s and aftermarket ECUs reckon they feel a hell of a lot better. And obviously, I don't tune N54s, but the way all the tables work in the stock DMEs, there's so much cross-referencing and load crap going on to calculate how it feeds timing in, how it feeds fuel in. There's so much going on for fuel economy that when you're trying to just make power, it makes it very difficult. Where if you can get rid of all the efficiency and fuel economy stuff and just have it tuned to make power, I can understand why the aftermarket guys, well, the guys running aftermarket ECUs reckon they're a lot faster. So it looks like it's either going to be a Haltech or a Max ECU. We'd like to go Haltech, but I feel like it's going to be like $4 or $5 grand. By the time you buy all the sensors, the wideband, get it wired in, well, I think a Max is probably about half the price.
It's also the Haltech still hasn't actually been confirmed working for all the CAN bus stuff yet either, has it?
100% correct.
So it'd be a lot of...
It's getting close. I've been told it's getting close to being able to run an E90 CAN bus system.
Okay.
I know Ken from Wedge Tuning, he is in the 060 members chat. He is currently setting up a Haltech on an N54 with a, I think he's got a Turbo 400. I'm sure he'll correct me if we're wrong. That thing's going to be wild. He's shown me some pictures of it. It is race car, but he is also sort of working on the CAN bus integration with the Haltech stuff, and he's getting close. Dan from Simply Tuning's getting close. So I don't think it'll be long until Haltechs are running these body control modules, but I mean, it could be 3 months, it could be 3 years with the way that development goes on with cars and funding people's time to do it. I would like to have a crack at it myself. I reckon I can work out the CAN bus stuff, but I don't want to spend all the money on a Haltech and then fail, because that would really suck if we spend all the money to buy the Haltech and then can't get it working. But yeah, so it's probably going to be Haltech or Max ECU. Feed me with information in the comments. I'd love to hear it. There is another thing that we have to do in this video.
Yeah, the giveaway.
The giveaway. Let me bring up the giveaway video. I'm going to leave this one playing.
The comments then when you were talking were coming through rapid fire. I was trying to keep up, but there was too many to...
Oh, let me just have a quick look at those recent comments.
And yeah, guys, so if you remember the video last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago, the break video, there was talk of a giveaway, which is time to draw today.
Neil, I'm subscribed. Neil Fraser, I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel. Guys, go and check him out. He's a 060 member. He supports us. He is a bit of a legend. He is building a diesel in Australia, an N57. Well, he's modifying it.
What's it going in?
It's in A5 series from memory.
Nice.
But yeah, I want to see videos of your car doing cool stuff on your channel. People, go and subscribe to Neil.
There is not enough diesel action in Australia.
How would the car...
Well, I'll say that Geordie's also putting an M57 in a patrol, isn't he?
Somebody asked if we looked into interchillers. I have. For drag racing, they're the way to go, but not really ideal for the way that we use this car. Well, and they're expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if money wasn't an option, yeah, you could probably justify...
Yeah, my issue with them is, for a full street car, I reckon it would heat soak, especially in our heat. Like water to air coolers, I reckon heat soak here, although people don't seem to admit it. Have we looked into reflex sequential port injection? Yes. I have. That may be going on my car. We'll see how we go.
335 owner in Malaysia. Nice. I was actually when we were over in Malaysia for the Formula One a few years ago. I was surprised at sort of the motorsport community over there. It was pretty big.
Somebody just said you can tune a car within 15 to 20% of its original power in Denmark. It's the same rules here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad that my car come out with 500 horsepower.
Exactly. I think even yeah, it is sad the F1 is gone. In fact, there's not even any F1 in Australia this year. They just keep canning it because of old Rona.
Light Manic. DI is for eco drivers. He gets it. He friggin' gets it. I hate DI. Bring back port injection. Somebody saw what are the best options for right-hand drive inlets for twin setups? Okay, guys, right-hand drive inlets are a problem. I've spoken to too many people about this. Obviously, we get a lot of questions, and I ask these questions to tuners and engine builders around the world. If you are right-hand drive, you are really limited. You have to legit just have the 2-inch silicons that come around this way. All of the hacked together right-hand drive outlets that have the, inlets that have the inlets on the driver's side of the car, it just gets messy. They get heat soaked. My car makes a hell of a lot of power, and I've just got the cheap China 2-inch inlets. Max is probably better. Would you need a custom harness? Yes. However, I am completely confident I can just make the harness. I've looked into it. It doesn't look any harder than wiring in a DCT. Could you run a piggyback? Basically, Michael Shannon, piggybacks are how these are all run at the moment. This essentially has a piggyback for the fuel system already. It doesn't have boost control, which it should have, but if it had electronic boost control, that would be piggyback as well. Hey JB and David Holmes, good to see you joining in. Somebody's mentioned Cyvex again. Cyvex is just a bit expensive. Somebody doesn't like the smell of diesel smoke. Cyber Spooky is reminding them that diesel smoke equals diesel torque. Guys, there's a lot of comments. Lots of great comments from folks here. Yes, I see Mark Webber won the Mark. It wasn't Mark, it was Daniel. Though they pretty much look the same. All right, is that thing got reception?
Yes, I think
What's
so.
the picture look like to everyone? It looks super fuzzy on this screen.
Can you? Does it have the option to up the pixels?
Yeah, I'm running at 144p.
140.
Actually, I'm going to leave it at 144p because we're using the same internet connection for that. Right, guys, we need to find a winner of the start button.
Yes.
Right, let me bring up that video. And if he's a member...
I can love you guys. Thanks, John.
Which John?
John Sav.
Ah.
Avi, it's blurry. You may have an option to...
Increase the quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maxing our internets here.
Josh says it looks fine for him, so he's probably got decent intranet.
Right, I'm going to the top comment. Alright, it looks... Do you want to bring the camera over and we'll show it? Guys, the top commenter from the break video where we're giving away the start button is, and I'm not going to pronounce it right, it's ZIJKNT. Guys, if you are you, or him, or her, please shoot us an email with your address. You're not a 0 to 60 member though, so you've missed out on some free merch. But we will still send you that start button. So please, shoot me an email, wherever you are in the world, I will post you a start button and maybe something else as a bit of a thank you for joining in on all the fun we've had. Guys, we found the hole in O'Reilly.
It's definitely there.
Yeah, it explains how the gudgeon pin got out. I am genuinely amazed that the hole is about the same size as the gudgeon pin, which we lost.
Yeah, where was that?
I don't know. It was flashing it around.
Kind of want to slide it back through the hole, put it back where it belongs. It may then just
start up.
Yeah, it may work again. Yeah.
We've got some work to do tidying this up. I'm going to essentially start cleaning up the wiring and that sort of stuff on this car, but until we either get the money to fund a Haltech or work out a safe plan with the Max ECU, because we could probably do the Max ECU now.
At least start, like it's gonna, yeah. It's not like it'll be done by next week, but
No, but yeah, either way, I'd like to actually fully document it. So if somebody else wants to run a standalone on their 135 or 335 or even a 1M, I'd like to be able to have a video so that you guys can follow along and see how it works. I think it's going to be an awesome solution. It's going to be a hell of a lot better than running an MSD81, and you're going to have a safer engine, a more powerful engine. What else could you want?
hey, thanks, Cyber Spooky, letting everyone know to hit the thumbs up button.
Yes. Yeah, please. Like, comment, subscribe. I think we can end it off there. Is there anything else?
Greg Wayne, yeah, I love my red dot thingy. Yeah, the red dot thing's awesome, man. And a couple of people asking to see the hole if they haven't seen it yet. Which, sorry, where's the torch gone? Here it is. So, now the engine is fully out, guys. This is why it was not visible. So actually, yeah, so that's the entire side of the block lit up with the torch, and you can see, still no hole. You literally have to. It's right up in there. Boom. It's, yeah. Damn it. I haven't got 3 hands to hold the light, but that's it in there. So it is a small hole. It doesn't look much bigger than the size of the gudgeon pin. And it was just in a very awkward spot. Can we focus? Focus. Ah, sorry.
I'm creating a poll.
I can't. Anyway, that's the hole. It's a pretty small hole, but it's definitely got a hole that shouldn't be there. And obviously, all hell has gone loose inside because it doesn't turn over now either. If you missed that as well, we actually put a breaker bar on there and tried to turn it over, and it is jammed.
All right, I'm going to create a poll for Haltech or Max, or yes or no. So we'll see what happens. I've never done a poll on a YouTube live session.
If you missed that, guys, if the mic was too far away, there is a poll going up in, which I presume it's going to go up in the comments section. Do you see the poll, everyone?
No idea.
I don't know.
Professionals here. There it is. Okay, I can see it. 64% have said Haltech already.
Really?
Haltech. Haltech. Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm keen to see what the winner of that is. Yeah, look, I would love to do Haltech. It's just really expensive. It's like nearly half, well, not half, nearly a third what we paid for this. To do it properly. Have I time? Yeah. Anyway.
But look, yeah, nothing's rolled out yet. We've got a lot of weighing up to do and a lot of saving up to do. So
I mentioned in yesterday's video the smell when I opened this, because it's been parked up for 3 months. When I opened the door, it's just brought back so many memories of
going
the
fast.
experience that we had in it. Like we haven't even had it for very long, but it's just such a special car. It really is an awesome drivetrain, and the fact that Dan from Simply's put the Power Glide, this insane amount of power, and then still made it like pretty streetable is wild.
Oh, it's incredible. Somebody just said save the money for the engine build, which, well, that's why we're not doing both at the same time, or why other people said to just build the engine and then put the standalone on. It's
in my opinion, it's pointless building an engine to make more power than a stock one and then running a stock ECU. You need the aftermarket ECU, so we want to get the aftermarket side sorted on a stock, and we've got 2 stock engines ready to go. And then we've got 1 engine that probably needs a piston. So we've got 3 N54s, and show them. They're racked up.
look at this. Look at that.
So we have 3 N54s ready to go in cars, but we have no ECUs ready to go in cars. So that's what we want to get sorted first. A standalone ECU with 1 of these standard engines, and then probably build another engine once we get the standalone running perfectly.
Yeah, and just then when you're talking about the good times in this thing, when we put it on the hoist before,
I'll go up.
you can just see
Where's the light? Where's the light?
this is after it's been, in here has already been pressure washed and cleaned,
No,
but
you can see the 10 millimeters of rubber that somebody left in the wheel arches.
yeah,
So I tried to clean it off, but yeah. That's
rubber.
Previous tyres that belong to this vehicle.
which having a 335 that just, when it comes on boost with a lock diff and just both tyres just absolutely bake, it's a hell of a feeling.
Josh Escott said max speeding rods might have rods for these. Not only do they have rods,
We might have
some max speeding rods. However, we're not sure what we're going to put them in. A friend of ours has just put an engine together with max speeding rods, and we will document that when it actually gets assembled. We do have these rods, but do we want to put the max speeding rods in O'Reilly, or do they want to go in a different build? We're not really sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with max speeding rods.
No, a lot of people have been, well, a few people have been running them and making decent power.
Do Haltech do a video?
Big Dave from the UK. Hey Dave, how's it going?
And Neil Fraser said the paint is looking smick. It's not as smick as I would like, Neil.
However,
it was pretty much wrapped up whilst it was in storage, but it will polish up really, really nicely still.
It will, yeah, with a bit of a detail and then some wax on her. She'll look mint. Max rods are awesome. So there's somebody else vouching for the Max speeding rods.
Okay, now the poll. Haltech is winning the poll.
Nice.
People want to see a Haltech.
I wonder if that is predominantly people from Australia, and they, like I'm surprised at how many people in the tuning or car community that had never heard of Max ECU.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could be a lot of Aussies that just aren't unaware of Max ECU. But yeah, look, they are a legit company. They're doing some crazy cool things, even things with ZF8s and DCTs and yeah, all sorts of stuff. They are pretty legit. Man, the Russian trying to go midnight.
Max can control the DCTs, Aussie supporters. All right, I think we're going to end off there. It's an hour and a half. We got the engine out. There's a hole in the block. I've got some more work to do off camera, which won't involve any swearing, I promise. Guys, thank you for all coming along to this live stream.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
I'm glad we didn't lose any fingers doing this.
I don't know where the hell that 80 minutes went. It does not make sense. But that's cool, seeing all the comments come through. Everyone's getting involved, and it's crazy just trying to keep up with it.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how these YouTubers that have millions of followers do a live stream and actually read all the comments.
It would be impossible. But
Jump on the next bit. Okay, what I might do, I don't know if I'll do it live, but I might get a mate of mine to come around who's got all the tools to strip it. Well, actually, we have the tools, but I've lent him all the timing tools to pull the engine apart. Might actually pull it apart on camera as well, maybe this week. We'll see how we go. We need another engine stand.
Jesus Christ.
It never ends.
Greg Wayne, Max ECU has cracked the CAN bus for the E90. Yeah, you are. Well, apparently they have. Apparently you can have everything running on the Max ECU, which is obviously another benefit.
The only thing that Max ECU haven't currently got working is smart water pump control. Now the water pump, the oil level sensor, and the alternator run on a. It's basically a separate CAN bus. I forgot what it's called now. BDM or BSD or
BDSM.
BDSM, something like that. And that bus has limited channels that the Max ECU can control. However, there are people that have got a workaround basically that works. They also can't connect and control the EKPM module. However, you don't need an EKPM if you're running an aftermarket ECU. You can just control the pumps however you want to control them.
And even the water pump that you just mentioned, it can still turn the water pump on. It just can't do it at a variable speed.
Yes. All right, let's end it off.
That's
Guys,
it.
Thank you all very much. It's been a holy episode. Did you get it?
Yeah. It's too dark because it's in such an awkward spot. You can't actually see the hole. But I wanted to leave it on, just looking at the hole inside the block, because I was thinking that
Light's coming.
I was wondering if that makes it it might make it the thumbnail.
We'll see. Should we finger the hole?
I can't find it. It's just
There it is. Fingers in it. Finger. Oh, it's sharp. Ow.
Yeah, bleeding.
All right.
There she is. Hole in the block.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.